Round 3 of the first day of the regular season of the Amateur Overwatch League. Not league, we can't use the word league. Something something copyright. We signed a contract. Amateur Hour Community. There you go. That's a little bit more up to snuff. Here is my, I'll call him a commentator because he doesn't necessarily want to cast. Deadvolt, host of the game. First, look at these two teams. Shanghai Unicorns, disappointed in their last match. Interesting team, though. We've seen promise. They run things. 6 support, 6 tanks. Be interesting to see if they pull out a little bit of a better performance than they did last time during their preseason game. Meanwhile, San Fran, I wasn't actually a part of that game, but knowing San Fran, they're a pretty strong team. They have a good level of determination and gusto. Do I actually know any of that? I don't, but I'm pretending. And soon enough, the game will actually begin. Now, once again, Shanghai, they've proven themselves in the past, at least, to be a team that's not afraid to try new things, inspiring things, some would say. I wouldn't. But now we're moving in on to Anamura. As we see here, looks like first round is going to be the defenders on the side of San Fran. Meanwhile, the Shanghai team is getting the first go-around at an attack. It looks like they might be coming up with a little bit of an interesting play in their own hands here. Might be considering running this Bastion Symmetra. You love to see it, or at least I would love to. Now, are they actually going to do it? Remains to be seen. Remains to be seen. But I have hope in the team that I once called my favorites of the league to step up and bring things back around in their own mysterious way. But that's subject to change. What we know isn't changing, though, is what the defensive line is looking like on the side of San Fran. They're running this Junkrat, Soldier, DPS combo. Bit interesting. A lot of power here. Very strong ultimates. The Junkrat is going to be much more pressuring the opponent, trying to force them to make hard decisions and striking on any mistakes that they might make. Meanwhile, the Soldier 76 is much more about getting in a consistent level of damage and maybe being able to pick off enemies. So round's about to begin. Looks like they are in fact sticking with this, I'll call it revolutionary decision to run this Bastion Sim.
Only Shanghai would run cheese on attack.
Only Shanghai would run cheese on attack. You gotta love them. Looks like Powerplug is looking for an opportunity to get set up, and then on the TP. Interact key, not bound. That's for me, not for him. Just trying to find a little bit of damage. He's got a bit of an odd angle. He'll be able to be hit, but he can't really do much damage himself. But he doesn't even need it. The rest of his team is going in on this attack. They're just swinging around, getting in as much damage as they can. All Devastant was, Powerplug, you thought he was supposed to be the main source of strength? No, he was just a distraction for the actual all-stars of this team, including Cold Chill, now throwing a turret down. His other turret getting the Zarya on the side of San Fran, putting down a teleporter. I don't know why. Dragonborn just trying to stall out for a little bit. He doesn't want to get caught too far back. He wants to spawn back in to help the rest of his team. Meanwhile, Shanghai, now Powerplug has rejoined them. He's looking to maybe getting a little bit of a stronger attack than he did last time, just basically being ult fodder for Ninja Kidders. They're TPing over the boundary. All 6 men coming in with this sideward flank. Power Plug, looking to find an opportunity to get set up, and he does. He's just trying to take out this Ryan before the Ryan takes out him. He's now onto this Genji, who's trying to find a little bit of a way around him, maybe try and bounce around, but it's not enough. The extra pressure of the rest of his team will do just about everything. This is a team kill. It's going to be immediate capture for Shanghai. You magnificent bastards, I knew you had it in you. You love to see it. You love to see a bit of an odd, bit of a crafty plan come together, even if at first it looked like it might have been a little bit of a bust. The rest of the Shanghai team really pulled it back in. And I think this is going to be a pretty interesting set. In fact, I imagine this is likely to be the most interesting matchup of the weekend. Just because you have what I understand is a fairly consistent team of the San Francisco squad going up against this balls to the wall strat that the Shanghai Unicorns are known for. This is not like any other normal pro league. This is not the type of place where you will be punished necessarily for playing something like a Bastion sim. Nah, forget that. In this league, literally anything goes, and Shanghai is the only team to really abuse that fact up till now, and you have to respect them for it. Well, you don't have to, but I do. Most other teams running things like the GOATS composition we see pretty popular. Just kind of this general triple tank, triple support. Maybe Hanzo's the strongest DPS in the game right now, we'll run him, but not Shanghai. Shanghai believes that there is a different way, a better way, a funner way. But now they are going to have a pretty standard defense. Pretty standard defense here. Standard tank line. Minikobe on this Mei. Not exactly too much of a surprise. Meanwhile, the attacking squad is going to be a pretty interesting decision here. Orisa Hog, but they are running the Sombra. They're hoping that this Sombra can get in a strong position, maybe get a pick, or at least pressure. Meanwhile, the rest of the San Fran squad is starting to push in already. They're not even going to give enough time for their own Sombra to get much headway in before finally deciding that they can take this fight. They can take this fight to Shanghai. They believe in their abilities. Unfortunately, they might have believed a little bit too much, as the DPS healing squad of Shanghai, keep in mind, 2 DPS just killed 4 members on the side of San Fran. Supports, by the way. Only 2 on fire right now. Power Plug and Dank Dragon. However, both teams are kind of floundering here to get back to the point. Basically, almost a team wipe on both sides. However, the Shanghai team is able to get back here a little bit faster because they have the delay of the Mei wall. Minikobe kind of messing up that Mei wall, but it's basically okay. Cold Chill gets a hit onto Ninja Kidders. Pretty strong. Pretty good way to start this off. They could go for the res if they find an opportunity, but it doesn't look like they are. Cold Chill still just shooting in from the back. He's trying to find this Mercy, and he's just not managing it. Luckily for him, it looks like his healing Moira, who's not so much of a healer anymore, is going to go for her. Not seeming to find her so far, and the Moira is going to eventually give up and go back to doing her actual job. Cold Chill still hasn't given up on this, though. Unfortunately for him, the rest of his team is slowly falling in this situation. Minikobe is trying his hardest to freeze this Mercy. He's got her frozen, but that doesn't mean that he can follow up. And now, D-Bink is now just doing the last punch of damage that his team needs. It wasn't necessarily the strongest that we've seen, but it wasn't bad either. And now going into this next fight, the only ultimate that's going to be available, or the only ultimates that are looking like they're going to be available, are Shanghai's Reinhardt Shatter and Mei Freeze Blizzard. And Kite is going to have this Valkyrie. Other than that, They're just going to be picking at each other. They do manage to find Cold Chill, but the wall is going to come up, delaying them from actually being able to push in so much into that, and they're going to lose Ben's soccer in the process. This should be a sign that they have to back off, but the Shanghai squad just wants to do a lot of damage here. They're pushing in with this Blizzard. They want to get as much of a team wipe as they can here, but they're only managing to get one. Really weird use of that sound barrier as well. Most of his team is basically dead. In fact, it would be better to just have allowed him and his Roadhog to die faster, but instead he decided to invest ultimates into it, and that might be because he's planning on swapping, but if he doesn't, I think that was a real mistake. He is swapping onto the Zenyatta, so it was a planned decision. However, notice the time disparity here. Even if the side of San Fran manages to get a really strong push in right now, they're still going to be at least 2 minutes behind the enemy team of Shanghai. Shanghai's playing this really well. They still have this Shatter. They're looking for an opportunity to separate someone from their team, but the only person getting separated here is Dank Dragon from his squad. He gets hooked up. The barrage comes through. He will get punished for that by Cold Chill. Ben trying his hardest to kill this Moira, who's doing as much damage as a normal DPS would so far this round. He's looking around. Cold Chill now ulting from up top. He's trying to find any kills. He's managing to at least be a distraction so his Brigitte in the back can get in on this fight. They're not going to give up anything here. They didn't have to use that much to do it. Look, they still have 3 ultimates left. Now they're rallying. Cold Chill kind of wants to be a part of that, so he's running back into the Brigitte's range. So the whole team's going to be armored up. They still have Shatter. They still have Coalescence. And the enemy side of San Fran has absolutely nothing to show for this. San Fran themselves, looking at trying to get a good position with this soldier. San Fran kind of has a team with a lot of different goals right now. Usually the goal would be something like, well, we have a soldier, so we want to get him to the high ground so he can shoot down onto the point. But the rest of their team benefits from being on the point, just going straight through mid. So their team kind of has very differing goals right now, and I think that that kind of disparity is one of the things that's making this so difficult for them. Iwa taking out this Mercy. Dragonborn trying to use this tactical visor, but he's not finding literally anything. He can't pierce through that armor, and he will die. Mr. Assassin still holding on to the Shatter. He's had this Shatter for so long, and he just refuses to use it. Literally his entire team have gone through an entire rotation of ultimates, and he's still just holding on to this as hard as he can. He wants to use this to save the fight when it's over. He wants to use this ultimate as a last resort, and I don't necessarily disagree with that. Now as Mini Kobe goes down, he's probably going to have to use this a bit more aggressively to try and even the odds here. However, the enemy team is just going straight through mid, and doesn't seem like the side of Shanghai really expects that. They were pretty slow though, so they've allowed Mini Kobe to respawn in. They're just giving up ticks. That's 2 ticks given up. Someone has to contest at some point, and it's going to be Mini Kobe coming in with this freeze. It's not really going to find much of anyone, but they do manage to trade pretty evenly. That's still ultimately going to be in Shanghai's favor though, as the longer this fight goes, the more in favor it is because of their spawn advantage. Mr. Assassin on the verge of death. However, he's not getting taken out. Literally, no one is able to get through this shield until finally he has to put it down. This fight's still very much so going in favor of the side of Shanghai, though, and a lot of time is being burned for the side of San Fran. They've almost got another rally, still holding on to that Shatter. They gave up 2 ticks. 2 ticks before they used the Shatter. But now they are in a very strong position. They just have to bring this to overtime. If they bring this to overtime, Shanghai will get a full 6 minutes to cap 1 tick of first point. Meanwhile, the enemy squad will get no time to do literally anything. The best they'll be able to hope for at that stage is a draw. Ryan trying to charge through that ice wall. That doesn't work that way. The rest of his team getting caught out, getting destroyed. This is just a severe and complete mismatch. Shanghai doing so well, using their ultimates in a really strong sort of combination and rotation, always making sure that they have this shatter in case things go too poorly, but they're doing so well, they haven't even needed it so far. They had to give up 2 ticks, but ultimately, who cares? Doesn't even look like the enemy team's going to be able to touch. And they aren't. Finally, a shatter gets used in the very last couple seconds, but it doesn't matter. Shanghai Unicorns ignore the lack of an N. Shanghai Unicorns do take the first map pretty handily. Mini Kobe proving himself to be pretty important asset no matter what he plays. Whether it be on that Mei, on that Moira, he is just an absolute force. It's gotta be really frustrating for San Fran. It seemed like they really had no idea how to even begin to approach that point. And you have to imagine that a loss that bad has got to mess with them at least a little bit. But Shanghai should be boistered by this. They went with a risky strategy of the Bastion Sim, and it worked so well for them. They played something a little bit more standard on defense, but ultimately that worked just the same. So it looks like Shanghai so far is the superior team in both the fact that they're willing to play a little bit out of the boundaries of what we consider normal, and also play squarely within the boundaries of what we would consider normal, and able to do both pretty equally well. So far, Shanghai, the more flexible team, the more capable team, and San Fran has a lot on their plate if they want to try and bring this back to what can be considered an even swing. However, as we go to control, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for Shanghai to do any sort of these cheesy strats. There's a much more balanced sort of mode. You can't get a sort of defender's advantage or even surprise attacker's advantage that Shanghai used to benefit themselves in the first round on Hanamura. So now, it should be interesting to see how the strategies of both of these teams change up. This is the type of map, it's pretty normal to see something more GOATS-centric at the very least, because on this map, it's a lot of squarely just fighting on this control point, not really much else. Very rarely people will try and kind of station themselves up top here and shoot down on the enemy team, but that's generally pretty rare. It usually doesn't really work out all that well. Most of the time, you just want a team that's really focused on attacking on the point. By the looks of it, it looks like the side of Shanghai might have already picked their starting lineup. 2 flankers, Tracer and Genji, at one point considered an absolute standard for the game of Overwatch, but now with the advent of heroes like Brigitte, who counter them, not so much. So we get into the first round. It's going to be a lot of dive tanks, dive DPS for the side of Shanghai, and kind of about the same for the side of San Fran. Dragon's looking for a bit of a way in, but Iwa is already getting himself in a bit of hot water here. Dragonborn going to be the first to take out Cold Chill. Getting a pretty good numbers advantage here, but he was trying to balance that up, taking out that Lucio. That's actually really important. Losing a healer matters a lot more than losing a DPS in these types of long, drawn-out fights. Iwa still poking around, trying to find something. Dank Dragon will go down. So far, the fight is kind of just stretching on, and that's in favor of Shanghai, as they did get the first cap. And the longer this fight goes, even if they're technically not necessarily winning it right now, or even if they are winning it, it's just barely, it is still to their advantage to draw this fight out for as long as possible. This is a numbers game now. It's all about time. Iwa dies right before getting his Primal Rage. That's got to sting just a little bit. Brigitte, Dank Dragon tries to get on, just doesn't manage it. Power Plug uses his ultimate to take out Kite. Unfortunately for him, the rest of his team isn't ready to go in off of that pick, and they're down a number themselves. So a bit of a waste of a pulse bomb there for him. Mr. Assassin still trying to get this mech back. He's so close, and after a few lucky hits, he'll be there. The armor comes through, and they want to charge in off of that. They are a bit more buffed than their opposing squad until finally they use their armor as well. Bomb comes out, manages to at least open the door for not only the first pick onto the Moira, but also the further picks onto both of the other support heroes. This is a pretty handily won fight for Shanghai, but they want to try and win this faster than what's going on right now. They're allowing for a bit of a stall here, and that really stings for them and is generally just good for San Fran. The same rule kind of applies. It's not just about losing a fight. It's about, if you're going to lose a fight, at least lose it well. And that's what San Fran was doing to the best of their ability. They were losing the fight as well as they could by stalling out the fight. Dank Dragon's getting a bit aggressive here, and he's going to get something for it. He's going to manage to get ninja carries, and by the looks of it, also get out. He just wasn't punished for that. But Cold Chill was punished for it, and unlike Dank Dragon, he does not have that armor or the shield to benefit him in that situation. Dank Dragon kind of trying to take on the Yeti himself. Could rally here if he wanted to, but first he wants to take out that D.Va. Bomb gets absolutely nothing. That's a bit of a problem for San Fran here, and really Dank Dragon in general has been such a menace for the side of San Fran as a whole. Doing a lot better than his counterpart on the other team, and Cold Chill also just swiping through most of the enemy team. Ben trying to get back on a point with this hamster ball. He'll manage it, but it won't be for too long. He's adaptive shielding, but now this is just pretty simply a game of him trying to stay alive and keep his team in this fight for as long as he can. But it's going to be a bit of a tall order, and he doesn't have his adaptive shield back. That's basically a team wipe. Dragon goes out with a bang though, takes out both of the DPS on the side of Shanghai. You hate to see it. All 6 members of Shanghai were on fire. Pretty demonstrative of their skill so far in this round. Once again, it's just been a fact of, so far, we have seen Shanghai not only be capable of playing more interesting compositions, but also when they do play more of the standard comps, they just seem to have a mechanical superiority. A lot of that is off the back of hero plays, such as Cold Chill's Blade, or the stalls that came from Dank Dragon, or even just the aggressiveness from Dank Dragon. They also have a pretty strong tank line that I've always felt was pretty consistent. Mr. Assassin has proven himself to be one of the best main tanks in this league. Two teams are approaching from opposite angles here. San Fran going with a very high burst damage comp. They want to try and smash through this massive amount of healing from the Brigitte and the Moira that the enemy team has by coming at them with this Reaper. Unfortunately, Reaper gets into a bit of a fight that's a bit more than he can actually chew, and he will get taken down for it. The numbers are going in favor of Shanghai, but not the point. They are going to have to give up the point first. They're using their Brig as a bit of a frontline defender. Support, by the way. But the rest of the numbers are eventually going to go in their favor. They're going to give up about 12%. They've forgotten to cap. So now instead they're going to give up about 15%. But they will get the point regardless. They see the Reaper. They want to take him out while he's isolated from the rest of his team. And they will manage it. Cold Chill was a bit too close for comfort there. The RNG had gone in the Reaper's favor. He absolutely could have been taken out as well. But luckily for him, it just didn't work that way. Nikobe, the only person with an ult so far, and he will be popping it. They want to get an early fight win here. He also wants to keep Cold Chill alive in that backline, as you can see. This will just be as close to a team wipe as you can really get. The rally also coming out. We're seeing Shanghai do a really strong combo in that they're using one ult to win a fight and using the win of that fight to steamroll into more ultimates. Cold Chill has this blade at the ready. However, on the opposing side, the ultimates of Kite with the rally coming out now, and Ben with the shatter. He's looking for it, but he'll get shattered himself. Are they gonna take him out before he gets up and can shatter? Bit of a weird sort of double shattered bug there. The numbers are still basically trading in favor of San Fran though. They just couldn't take out Ben, even though he was shattered initially. After not being a little bit more cautious of him, San Fran's now looking to prioritize this point. They know that they can take it. They know that they know that Shanghai can't really contest them here. This is almost in one fight territory now. Almost. In the event of a team wipe, San Fran will still have time to come back here and contest. But it won't be too much time. Cold Chill still holding on to this blade. We've seen him be really effective with it before, but against the composition that's currently being run, I think he'll kind of struggle. He manages to find the slice on the Ninja Kidders. The rest of his team is getting sucked into that grab and Death Blossom combo, and Cold Chill himself will be taken out by that slam into the wall, getting absolutely pancaked. This is still a fight in favor of San Fran. Shanghai coming up on a bit more of their ultimates here. Iwa still kind of just trying to pick away at the heals. He wants to get this grab. He knows that his team can basically win off the back of it. Mr. Assassin using his shatter, managing to open the door for the rest of his team to find a lot of good picks in. And the numbers are going in their favor. This is pretty good for Shanghai so far. Iwa just trying to get into the backside and melt a few people, and with the help of not only the Pharah, but also the Deadeye, he will eventually succeed. This is one fight territory for both teams now. Whoever wins this next fight will win this map. If Shanghai wins the map, this will be a 2-0 lead for them. They're going to have the armor to do it. Ninja Kidders is trying to open it up with his Riptire though, as the Pharah is expecting it. Ninja Kidders still looking, and will get taken out. Really unfortunate for him. The grab coming through, slams into the wall. The rest of the team of Shanghai is managing to find a way in, take out this enemy team, and this is looking to be their map. As they basically get a team wipe, the only person left alive is Ninja Kidders, and he will go down as well. With a team kill to end it off, Shanghai will win now 2-0. Shanghai doing a really good job, once again, of just further cementing that they are not a team that wants to struggle here. They're a team that wants to smash into their competition. They had a really rough round in the preseason, but it looks like now they've kind of reoriented themselves, reorganized, and San Fran are the ones who are looking like they're struggling to find a word in edgewise. They just kind of keep getting pressured by these situations. It appears that they're kind of being a little bit mechanically outskilled so far, but you know that's not such a big deal if they might kind of consider what they're playing against and maybe try and change up their composition or change up their play style around it. So far, it looks like basically every single time San Fran just has the strategy of playing these frontline heroes and trying their best with them, and most times it's just not succeeding. Sometimes they'll have that lucky shatter that they have prepared, and off of the back of that they'll be able to win the fight, but for the most part it's these sort of consistent fights that they're just losing again and again and again. As we go on to the third map, it should be interesting to see how they adapt to that. Ben changing into the San Francisco tag. You love to see it. Meanwhile, Shanghai, they came in their uniforms today. 4 Shanghai player icons, 2 Atlantic. You hate to see it. Going on to Hollywood, another strong Bastion sim map if Shanghai wanted to run it. Meanwhile, San Fran still just kind of looking to find a word in edgewise here. As the game will eventually start, we're still not getting any sort of swaps or anything that I can tell. So we should be pretty good to go in just a minute. Shanghai do not seem to be necessarily a team that that themselves are unbeatable. As I said before, in preseason we saw them get handled pretty well. It just seems like Shanghai has a bit of a shock and awe strategy that they kind of like to go for. And that shock and awe strategy, if it fails, I've seen them get completely derailed. They just don't really seem to. Shanghai doesn't seem to have a plan B, or at least we've never seen them be pushed to a plan B. In every single game that I've ever seen, it's either Shanghai effectively completely rolls the opposition, or they get absolutely nothing from it, right? So Shanghai will either completely roll the composition with what they basically start with, or they will get rolled themselves and find absolutely no way or plan around it. So I think for San Francisco, it's just a matter of them finding the first win. For San Fran, I think it's just a matter of them changing up their comp or changing up their playstyle to get that first win and finally put Shanghai on the back foot. Because when Shanghai is on the back foot, they seem to crumble from the games that I've seen of them so far. We are still kind of waiting for the game to start. It will eventually, probably, as soon as my friend Deadvolt here decides to press the goddamn start button. Oh, did I just say a curse? Sorry. We signed a contract, can't do that. Brought to you by Disney XD. Apparently, we're told to wait 5 minutes as Iwa, a Shanghai player, is doing something. Iwa thinks that his time is more important than the rest of ours, I suppose. Iwa, if you go back and you listen to this VOD, or I guess watch and listen to this VOD later, uh, and you get to this part where I've been forced to just kind of talk about nothing for round about, I'd say about 4 minutes at this point. I want you to know, Iwa, I love you because you're on Shanghai, but also a little bit of a bastard. A little bit of a bastard. So basically, hashtag blame Iwa. Can I get a hashtag blame Iwa in the chat, boys? I'm still waiting. There we go. Milos, Milos, you son of a bitch. I knew I could count on you eventually. Hashtag blame Iwa. Few others, Wesley, Andy, hashtag blame Iwa. You love to see it. You love to see solidarity in the chat. Blame plug, blame plug, blame egg. Do not blame plug and egg. Egg is fine. Egg is a good boy. Blame Shanghai. Now that's fine. Yes. Hashtag blame Shanghai. I agree. Blame everyone? No. San Fran is doing nothing wrong, and if you say blame everyone, that's also blaming me, and I don't deserve that. For anyone who's just now joining, that's right, I saw that viewer count tick up from 8 to 10. You're not allowed to leave anymore, otherwise you're going to hurt my feelings. Shanghai currently has a player who is, I don't know, going to the bathroom or something. No one really knows. Hashtag blame bathrooms. We're still waiting on that. Blame trivia. How dare you, Wesley? We're still waiting for Iwa to come back from whatever it is that he's doing. Rest assured, I'm sure he will return soon. I hope he will return soon. Alright, there we go. We've got 12 people now. None of you are allowed to leave. Once again, if you do, my feelings will be quite severely hurt. We're still just in a pause, because once again, Iwa is still not back. Can I get an F in the chat for Iwa? F in the chat, boys. F in the chat. Iwa, gone but not forgotten. Not forgotten. And the reason we haven't forgotten him is because he's delaying the game. So that's why we don't get to forget about Iwa. I wish we could forget about Iwa. I wish we had a substitute for Iwa, but turns out we don't. So we just gotta wait here until Iwa returns, because I guess that's what we're doing now. Okay, there's 14 people in the chat now. Once again, none of you are allowed to leave. Where did 2 of you go? You motherfuckers. Sorry, not allowed to say that. Brought to you by Disney XD, and it went from 12 back down to 8. Feels bad, man. Can I get a feels bad man in the chat? We were doing so well, and then finally, because of Iwa, and now they're back, baby. Now they're all back. I knew you'd come running back up, putting us back in the double digits. I knew it. I saw it coming. Anyway, we're finally into the round now. I guess Iwa has stopped being dead, or at least pretending to be, and we can finally get started back into the round. There's going to be another starting attack from the side of Shanghai, and it looks like they're deciding to make new things old again by running this Bastion sim strat, and you love to see it. Might also be considering adding the Torbjorn to it, maximum cheese, but no. Looks like they're going with more of a standard, actual main healer. And you know what? I don't like it. Plug Bastion is a big yes. Plug Bastion is a huge yes. I agree with you. Kite, however, looks like he has some plans of his own, as he is also running a Bastion. We're going to see a Bastion versus a Bastion, people. And I'm excited. You absolutely love to see the beta Bastion. You absolutely love to see it. See, there's some that, like I said, this is going to be the best game of the weekend. And it's because whenever Shanghai plays, whenever Shanghai feels good about how they're playing, we see some interesting strats come out of them. And I'll be... Is this your new Twitch? It is not my new Twitch. It is not. This is, So I have self-promotion time, friends. I have a Twitch account where I cast scrims and stuff. However, I am now taking this Twitch, which is not mine, and casting on it, because this is the actual official channel of this league that we have here. Kite hiding in a corner. It'll be interesting to see if Powerplug is able to deal with that, or if he sees it coming whatsoever. This is all going to depend on Powerplug and Kite. The duel between the two Bastions. Very little of this will have to do with the rest of the team, unless D-Bink can somehow get some type of good hook onto the opposing Bastion. They're making some good headway in here. Dragonbjorn will take out Minakobe before the round even begins, and this is all falling apart. They didn't expect Kite to be running a Bastion, and he's just gonna slay every single person. Yeah, that's right. I said slay like a 15-year-old white girl. Shanghai still trying to cap this point, but they're just struggling a little bit. Not able to actually get the first tick. Power Plug getting caught out by Kite will get taken down. Kite asserting his superiority as a superior bastion, but Shanghai asserting their superiority as the superior team as they finally manage to cut through here. Bastion 1v1, we need it. I don't necessarily disagree. Iwa, after so long, I assume being on the toilet, has finally woken up.
The payload moves with certainty.
I think we can really give a lot of the benefit of that fight win to Iwa and Dank Dragon. Dank Dragon on fire, not very difficult as Brigitte support, by the way, but now it's going to be Power Plug with a bit of an advantage. Usually the Bastion that's set up first has an advantage going into the Bastion who's trying to surprise attack. But not here. Power Plug is actually going for the surprise flank. He's not set up in turret form, and finally he'll get there, trying to cut through that Bastion, now trying to cut through the Orisa, but he's not having enough of a focused fire, and he's not getting protected, so he's just going to get hooked and taken down. Meanwhile, Kite is still alive. He will get pinned. He should die to that, and the rest of the line of this San Fran squad is still going down slowly but surely, and it's not because of Power Plug. It's because the team of Shanghai is just so much better at playing around this Bastion. Power Plug now once again set up. His team is giving him a bit of armor because he has such a bad time of just trying to stay alive that they think he needs 100 extra armor to go along with the mountains he already has. It's not going to be enough. He goes down. Kite cuts through 2 people on the Shanghai squad as well. This is going to be... But they somehow managed to get it anyway. Actual C9. Can I get a hashtag C9 in the chat? Power Plug didn't even have to be a good Bastion. Like, this is what we're seeing. This is Power Plug's first ultimate. They've capped 2 points. And Power Plug, a Bastion, has not done enough damage to get an ultimate up until now. And yet it doesn't even matter. It literally doesn't matter. Because Shanghai is doing such a good job of winning these fights regardless. Shanghai is playing so well right now, and the enemy team can do absolutely nothing about it. They literally were up 3 people and still lost second point. Power Plug now looking to go on another extended flank. It's never worked for you before, buddy. I think you're better off on the payload, but try as you will. Still doesn't manage to get that kill. Still doesn't manage to get that kill. Power Plug is struggling so hard, he's in another position to just die. Power Plug trying his hardest, and it's not really all that good enough. This entire game has just been a blooper reel for Power Plug so far, and it is hilarious. His team will finally be stopped. Mr. Assassin has this Shatter. It's the only ultimate on his team, and they've got to run it into the ultimates of Thrash Dude's Transcendence and probably the Bastion's tank configuration. Yep, so it's going to be this Shatter into those 2 ultimates. If the Shatter is in a good enough position, it will be enough to win them this fight basically immediately. They're going on this extended flank, but it's expected, and Dragonborn will take out Cold Chill. More importantly, Shanghai does not have any sort of Resurrect, so Cold Chill is going to be down for this fight unless they just back off. Their main healer also dead. This is not a fight that they want to take. They just need to back off. It's impossible for them to win at this point unless Power Plug proves himself to be a much better Bastion than he has been so far. Mr. Assassin is really struggling here. He has absolutely no health, and the rest of his team is still going down anyway. It looks like Power Plug just kind of accepting his fate. He just tries to heal himself up, even though he's still getting shot at in the face. It's such a shame. All of these ultimates being used, all of these strategies, and finally Cold Chill gets in onto Kite. Cold Chill still going through, getting thrashed, dude. Cold Chill has had enough of it until the enemy team has had enough of him. He gets taken out as well. Now it's on to Shanghai's Brigitte, taking out that Roadhog. Power Plug is now set up again. He keeps on going for these weird flanks. You don't need to be flanking. You're at the end. Be on the payload and stop them from being on the payload. That flank will be good enough to get onto that Bastion though, and finally Power Plug is actually getting some kills to his name. You love to see him get at least one. I'd be surprised if Power Plug didn't have like 3 elims. This has been really unfortunate for Power Plug, but not for his team. They're still capping with 2 minutes remaining. So at this point, the name of the game for Shanghai is just pushing the enemy team. Even if the side of San Fran manages to cap, they don't want them to cap with time. If they can push this into overtime, then Shanghai will get an attack. Meanwhile, San Fran will not. And if they can do that, then this game will be won for Shanghai. It'll be mathematically impossible for San Fran to actually come back in and get more round wins. Power Plug equals Plat Chat. I think so far Power Plug has proven himself to be Gold Chat. Poor Power Plug. I don't want to bully him, but man, this has been rough. This has been a rough round for Power Plug. But his team still trusts him. They see the formula. They know. So far, guess what, boys? We've run Power Plug and we've been winning. Is it necessarily because of him? Who knows? But we're still doing it. And you love to see that dedication to their own player. Even if he struggled a bit in the first round, they know that they still technically got results. It's like, who wants to see how the sausage is made when you know that the sausage tastes good? He's the bait and they're the trap. I don't disagree with you. Shanghai also picking a really weird strategy here. Choosing to go up top. Or at least, okay, is it just Power Plug? No, everyone else is still on the lift. I can't really tell what they're doing. But you know what? You love to see it regardless. Meanwhile, on the side of San Fran, they're running something a bit more standard. Ninja Kidders on this Pharah, Dragonborn on the Hanzo. Both of them have the ability to counter this Bastion if they manage to get a good angle past that shield onto them. Dragonborn wants to take out this turret. It's kind of shooing them in the back, and they don't like it one bit. Power Plug sees that far in the distance, wants to get in some chip damage. But at that range, all it's going to be is chip damage. It's going to be basically impossible to kill her there, but he does get her pretty low. The point is finally being contested, but by who? Yeah, the side of San Fran is pushing onto this point. They have a good angle here. The Bastion actually can't do much to support his team as long as they kind of stay near this back corner where he technically doesn't get a sightline. They've got the first tick. They're going to have to start dropping down. There goes Bastion's shield. If they just focus him now, he will die pretty shortly. The Power Plug is managing to get a little bit in the way of results himself, as is Cold Chill's shield. Power Plug still not getting focused, still alive, has 80% ult charge at this point. That's not bad from him. He wants to get set up here though. He wanted to take out Ninja Kidders first, but it's just not happening. He needs to get set up. He's so much more powerful in this turret form than he is walking around in this recon mode. And he's not in enough danger that he needs to have that mobility right now. He does have that tank configuration though, and the Pharah is trying to blast him to smithereens, but it's just not happening. Power Plug looking to go up top here. But he's going to be playing into the Dragon Strike and Ben Soccer's Shatter. Power Plug managing to take out Ninja Kidders, and now he's going on the offensive with his ultimate. Does manage to take out Dragonborn, looking for a third. Is he going to find one? Yes, he does. Direct hit onto Thrash Dude, managing to get another kill, just further staggering the side of San Fran. Power Plug finally coming alive here. This is an amateur. You're right. Power Plug is now proving himself to be a little bit more stronger. Power Plug was a defensive Bastion, you see. It was all a part of the plan from the very beginning. Power Plug now getting set up to suit into this murder hole. Unfortunately, who's going to get murdered in this hole? Not Power Plug. Well, until he leaves and gets caught by the Dragon Strike. But the ultimates are coming out from both sides. They're still going in favor of San Fran. San Fran wanting to slam this Reinhardt into the wall. They want him dead. They want the entire side of... It's so bad. Ugh, it's so true. It's so rough for the side of San Fran. They've made a pretty good headway there, and it's just nothing. They're just not managing to find anything substantial here in this fight. Power Plug is going to be back and they're going to have the armor up. Power Plug doesn't exactly have much armor here, but if he doesn't get focused, it's not even going to matter. Power Plug still is kind of walking around. He doesn't want to stay in the same place for too long, so we see him kind of constantly repositioning. Shots are trading pretty evenly right now. Now Power Plug wants to get in behind him. He might jump down with the turret for him, and he will. That's going to be an instant kill onto Ninja Kidders. Is it going to be enough? The rest of his team is still left without a Bastion to protect them. They're going to be desperately desiring that. Minikobe almost going down. Power Plug now trying to do what he can. He needs to get set up, and he knows that. He tries to melt through Zarya, but the bolt will come out. He'll manage to kill her, but at the cost of dying himself. This will finally, hopefully, force Sanfran be their cap, and it looks like it. Dragonborn facing his greatest rival yet in the turret, managing to win that, but just barely. Power Plug has this tank configuration, but once again, he's going to be playing it into this Dragon Strike and Shatter. Now the Shatter's going to be pretty easy here. All he has to do is push in past this Orisa shield, and he knows that. They're going to bunce each other in the face, knocking each other down. This Orisa, or not this Orisa, this Brig is kind of separated from the rest of her team, but are they even going to know where she is? Not before she gets in a little bit of harassment. Not enough to kill anyone, but enough to weaken them for Minikobe to finish off the kill. Ben is still looking for this Shatter, and he's just not finding anyone. He doesn't think it's worth his time, but now as he's pushing up, he gets slept. It's really unfortunate for him. He had an opportunity with that Shatter. Power Plug himself looking for an opportunity to kind of assist his team. He's kind of been on the outskirts of this fight the entire time, just not finding anything. The entire side of Sanfran about to have 6 ultimates, and they're pushing payload basically uncontested, while the rest of the teams are fighting in this back alley. Dragonborn manages to take out Power Plug. Really unfortunate for Power Plug, but it's just, we see this non-stop. The side of Shanghai is not even really contesting this payload anymore. That whole time, Sanfran was just pushing it ahead without literally anyone fighting them. Everyone on the side of Shanghai was just in this back alley. Now Minikobe is going to stagger himself out even further. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. He must have known they'd go after him. Better just die on the payload and delay it. But he decides, no, I want to try and survive here, and I disagree with that. Both sides have a lot of ultimates here, and Cold Chill is trying to grind the last vestiges of his, but he's so weak. He can die to even the slightest bit of a touch here. The ultimate will finally come through. Ben, after holding on to that ultimate for the entire point, finally finds an opportunity, and he wants to use it. It's a pretty close fight here. Dragon knows that he has to take out this Ana. He's just failing, but they do manage to get the second point capture. Bit of a hashtag C9, lol. Both teams still have a lot of ultimates going to the third point. Once again, this is still ultimately a really strong position for Shanghai. Their only goal here is to push this into overtime. In fact, I think that the side of Shanghai just needs to swap onto delay heroes. I want Shanghai, as the barrage comes out, without any support from her team. Bit of a mistake. I think he's probably looking to swap. Is he going to swap? He will on a Tracer. Yeah, it looks like they're kind of looking into more of these delay type heroes. I kind of want to see a Hamster. I kind of want to see things like that. Power Plug, though, doing enough delaying on his own by getting actual kills and winning his team this fights by getting kills onto both of the DPS line on the enemy team. One of them's going to get res back up, and eventually the numbers are going back into more of an even favor. Is it going to be enough? Power Plug still cutting through the rest of that team. Finds another, finds another, finds another. We go again, boys, or at least Power Plug is. So many ultimates on the side of Sanfran, though. They have this Dragon Grav combination, and the side of Shanghai have nothing to deal with it. It's going to come down to Debunk and Dragonborn getting this combo. If they can just get enough to win a clean fight, they need to try and cap this with time, so they are on a really, really small timer comparatively right now. Debunk's still looking for this ultimate. He's just not seeing an opportunity for it. He's really struggling as now his main tank goes down. They're going to be forced to push back as now their 2 stronger ultimates in this fight are also going to be gone. I would say it's pretty clear that Shanghai have won this series for themselves now. It's going to be basically impossible for the side of Sanfran to actually take this with time. so they have an opportunity to contest. So at the best, San Fran can get a tie in this fight, which still loses them this round as a whole. But they're still going to try it. They're looking to get something maybe just out of pride, and they are getting these picks here. As I clip through the map, good game, Blizzard. Ben in a little bit of trouble here. He's trying to delay this Bastion killing his team, and they do, just long enough to get the kill onto Power Plug. It's becoming a bit more frantic now, as the teams are kind of struggling. See, Shanghai, they've won this, but they want to win this map, and they want to win it clearly. They don't want to waste their own time. If no one manages to touch, and for that, San Fran will at least be able to tie this game. It's unfortunate for the side of San Fran. They literally cannot win this anymore, but maps still matter. And I think for San Fran, this map specifically, they really want to stop the enemy team. They really want to kind of kick some dirt into Shanghai's face after this humiliating show. They want to at least stop their enemy team from getting this win. It'd be a good morale boost for the side of San Fran and against Shanghai if they just manage to get this win. But all that Shanghai needs with 2 minutes, 7 seconds on the clock is just the first tick of the first pull. The score so far is 2-0 in Shanghai's favor. At this point, the only thing that the enemy team of San Fran can do is tie this map. So Shanghai is still looking to win. Looks like this time around, they've had enough of Power Plug on the Bastion, or maybe they just think it's a bit too predictable. So they want to swap onto this Doomfist instead. But they're still playing Doomfist into a Bastion, into a Roadhog. It's going to be a bit of a tough fight for him to take. They want to take out this Bastion. Bastion's in a bit of an exposed position here. He's really kind of left himself open for an immediate kill. But the rest of his team is going to support him. And he will manage, by the looks of it, well, he might still die here. But regardless, his team is winning this fight pretty handily. Cold Chill up top, though, is trying to swing it back into Shanghai's favor. He's trying to get the flick onto the Zenyatta, and finally he'll manage it. Trying to get onto this Hanzo, and just missing. Kills are still coming out, still fairly evenly for both of these teams. But there's no support, really, for that Reinhardt down there other than Cold Chill. And Cold Chill can't exactly give him much in the way of healing. But finally, both teams will get their main healer back. And now this sniper battle between Cold Chill is going to be a little bit interrupted as the rest of both teams start filing back in. The trades are now going in favor of San Fran, until finally Shanghai steps up and gets so many kills in a row. Just individual fights using either the dash, using the ultimates. They're managing to find these kills right at the end here, but they need to win this out. They're still burning a lot of time, and Kai is going to eventually come in with that ultimate, but finally Shanghai will win it 3-0 for Shanghai. Really good job from them. Cold Chill, I've seen before on the Widowmaker. He does a good job of it in general. Cold Chill getting really aggressive here, charging up that beam to just melt through this entire team in this close quarters fight. This is the strength of Sim. This has always been the strength of Sim. It's this ability to build up. If just left alone for a few seconds, or if just protected by their team for just a few seconds. Cold Chill, we ragged on him for quite a long time. Or wait, hold on. Who did we rag on? Who was it that we ragged on, chat? Who was the Bastion? Why have I forgotten this already? It was Power Plug. Power Plug was the one that we ragged on. Yeah, okay. I just forgot his name. Yeah, you're right. Power Plug, we ragged on for a while, but ultimately his team still coming out with a 3-0 lead. There is one more map left to go though. At this point, Shanghai is looking to 4-0 this. And San Fran is looking to get literally anything for their troubles. Cold Chill is showing promise in carrying. You are correct. Cold Chill doing a lot for his team in all of those engagements. He really had to step up when Power Plug wasn't able to on that first attack. And we saw him rise to that occasion. And we saw him have good positioning, have good understanding of the heroes that he was forced to run. Most people would kind of consider Sim in that situation of a Sim Bastion to just kind of be a turret bot or a teleporter bot. But Powerplug took it a step further. He knew that Sim had the ability to really carry teamfights and vaporize the entire enemy squad just on her own if just given enough time. So a well-deserved play of the game for him. As we go on to Gibraltar, a really strong map for very mobile heroes. Heroes that have a lot of scalability. I'm really surprised that we still haven't seen Hamster Ball in this entire round so far. The community does take map wins into consideration. It basically plays exactly like the Overwatch League, but only at half of the time span. So we have 2 stage playoffs, and then we have the actual playoffs at the end. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But yes, individual maps do still matter quite a lot in this league. So it's going to be on San Fran to try and get this victory here. At least get something out of this. Shanghai going to be attacking first again. I actually think that we should institute a bit of a policy in this league to swap the teams so that if one team attacks first, the next round where there is an attacking side, they attack second. I think that'd be pretty smart, because so far there's a third map in a row where we've seen Shanghai attacking first, and I think that gives them a lot of momentum that otherwise they might not have. I think it's a bit of an unfair advantage, but just something to take into consideration. Anyway, as we go into this, it looks like pretty standard sort of defense from the side of San Fran, pretty standard sort of anti-dive in a way. Meanwhile, Shanghai running a pretty normal comp. They want to lean into Cold Chill's abilities, and they've swapped Power Plug off of DPS onto Tank. You hate to see it. Dank Dragon kind of sneaking around. Support, by the way. Looking for a bit of assassination. One person pushing the cart pretty far, as finally they begin to dive in, and the fight begins. Charge is going out onto Ninja Kidders and Power Plug, staggering both of them. It's a bit of a disparate fight here, not really a lot of organization, just individual fights that seem to be going in the favor of San Fran. You know, when you get a team, when you get 2 teams of unorganized, unfocused players, unfocused plats, this is the type of fights that you get. I'm kidding, of course. Haha, I'm kidding. Milos, please. But now it looks like the side of Shanghai wanted to try and reconvene. Unfortunately, Cold Chill's going to get taken out by Dragonborn, and so will Power Plug. Ball's coming out. They want to follow up on these kills. They know they have a pretty big advantage now. They're finally letting them go. Toxic. Yeah, I'm toxic. A lot of ultimates here coming up for the side of San Fran. Cold Chill in this background. Cold Chill looking to get in some work here. He's looking to kind of hack someone. He wants to get this kill onto the Hanzo. He's kind of missing a lot of his shots. Just 1 HP. Doesn't manage to get the kill. Numbers advantage early on for his team. A nanoed Brigitte, who is now hacked. That's a lot of concepts very, very quickly. Thrash Dude going a bit of DPS on it, wants to take out Cold Chill. But ultimately, this is going to be pretty even fight in favor of San Fran. Both tank ultimates coming close to being online for Shanghai. We see Shanghai is kind of all over the place. Shanghai is like in completely different areas from each other. Their supports aren't able to support them whatsoever, and Mr. Assassin is going to have to go into this fight really weak because his supports are on like the opposite sides of the map. And we see that as one of them gets taken out there. And Dank Dragon is going in for a bit of a flank. It's not going to be him versus an entire enemy team. He's also going to go down. This is the last match for today. There will be more matches tomorrow.
It appears we have suffered a minor setback.
They have both tank ultimates, and they really want to win off of these, but they're still going to have to push in to this blizzard and the armor that the entire enemy team, save Mei, is going to have with them. They're getting prepared for this dive, but the enemy team knows where they are. They've used a recon arrow. They can see all of you. Almost pulled him up. Wouldn't matter too much. There's another recon arrow coming out. They still know that they're up there. After so long of staging that, they're going to look for a Shatter. Flying Reinhardt. Does get booped out of the way. Not able to get that pin. Both sides are getting pretty low on health pretty easily. But eventually the fight is going to go in favor of Sanford. They're doing such a good job here of making all of these ultimates completely null and void. For every 2 ultimates that Shanghai is using, Sanford's using 1 and winning fights easily. And I'm back just in time for Iwa to start carrying his team. Mr. Assassin as well. They're going to get first. I don't know. That just happened. Someone want to explain that to me? Because I was watching the whole time and I don't have a single idea. He was looking to kind of stagger this Orisa. Orisa is a counter to Doomfist though, at least theoretically, but Orisa is not a counter to an entire team shooting at her behind. Cold Chill is going to be slept. They get the assassination onto him before he's able to recall. A lot of progress is still being made here, as it's now halfway. Iwa pushing into the enemy team, gets a lot of shields from it, but he's out of cooldown, and now he's going to go down. Power Plug pushing in. They have a lot of ultimates here, and they're still kind of winning this numbers fight. He could shatter right here, but he's going to go down beforehand. Both of these ultimates are being used. He wants this tower to travel the entire length of the battlefield before it finally finds a single kill on the Ninja Kidders. That is determination if I've ever seen it. Tries to wall someone off, not quite successful, and Cold Chill still in the back line, doing a lot of work. Unfortunately for him, the person of his healing intent is going to be purple. It's going to be impossible to finish the job. Iwa managed to get so many slams on the enemy team. And Shanghai is going to take second. After such a bad first point offense, they're actually doing pretty well. They're getting a lot of time banked here so that they can have this attack onto third. They're going to struggle in order to actually get much in the way of extra time here, I think, into this fight. But, regardless, for how they're doing right now, they're doing okay. Iwa getting really aggressive with this ult. They want to kind of ramp these team fights into more wins. You can see that they're not really giving the opponent time to reconvene with each other. Unfortunately, that is eventually going to lead to Iwa's death. But Cold Chill literally does not care. Cold Chill this entire time has just been in the background. An absolute monster. Still taking out people. Still just a mass murdering machine. The rest of his team is going to come in with a bit of support. Looks like they are going to be able to take this with some time remaining. They kill the Brig fast enough, and it looks like no one's able to recontest. They're taking it with a minute and a half left after capturing first in overtime. Rolled and smoked, my doggers. Really well done. It was just Iwa's relentless aggression And even when he went down, Cold Chill was able to follow up with the DPS of his own. In the words of a good friend of mine, rolled and smoked, my doggies. Monka ass. I thought for a second that Shanghai, oh, are they gonna do it? Are you bastards really doing this right now? They are. The triple dive defense. Triple dive defense, solo healer, Doomfist, Junkrat. Haha, young Dishrag, I know you are, but what are they? Haha, rolled and smoked, my doggies. Now going into this, it's actually a really interesting idea. I say interesting because I think it's very dumb, but also really fun. Depends on when they choose to engage. It's going to be triple dive tanks into dive. They're putting Power Plug on this hamster ball. They believe in his tracking capability enough. Unfortunately, it's just not doing too well. They do manage to get the Mercy weak, but she gets a health pack, and their entire team is dying. It's just blood. Blood everywhere. At least for Shanghai. Power Plug kind of wants to contest this payload. It's not going to get much out of it, though. He is hacked. Leaves him a bit of a sitting duck here. Or a bit of a sitting hamster. Yeah, his team is finally managing to come back, get a little bit of a stronger recontest here. Cold Chill swapping onto the, swapping off of the D.Va onto a soldier, but it's not going to be enough. Team is still going down. Power Plug is looking for an opportunity here. He doesn't even adaptive shield before he goes down. Minikobe trying to keep his team alive, also trying to find this kill. With the help of Dank Dragon, he'll succeed. We're seeing a lot of change-ups for the side of Shanghai here. Dank Dragon is now on this Junkrat, even though previously he was one of their healers on Brigitte. Power Plug, now a tank, even though before he was a DPS. They're really trying to flex around with their players and find what comp works best against what they're playing against at the moment, and it looks like they're kind of succeeding, as finally they're starting to get a little bit of a hold here. Dank Dragon now has his Riptire, just kind of looking for an opportunity to use it. This should end the fight before it even begins. Power Plug also with the minefield. He is hacked though, so he should die here. No one goes after him, but he's still not getting healed, and he will eventually get taken out. Minikobe trying to get a little bit aggressive in the face of this Mercy here. It's not a bad idea, but she's not able to finish her off, and now it's this Moira versus this, versus the Sombra. A little bit of disrespect there at the end. Power Plug is deep in enemy territory. Mr. Assassin trying to stay alive for just as long as he can. He just wants to delay at this point. Did I say deep in enemy territory? This is their territory. Shanghai's on the defending side. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, Power Plug chooses to never use his ultimate. Same with Dank Dragon. They decide to basically let them take first without much of a recontest other than Mr. Assassin popping his Primal Rage. Power Plug is going to struggle to find a good use of this ultimate with the mines because so many of what he's playing against are so mobile and can literally just avoid the area that the mines are placed in anyway. It looks like he's finally choosing this as the opportunity. A lot of them are going to get taken out by the bubble. Cold Chill popping that tactical visor, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to trade out with the D.Va bomb. Power Plug still going a little bit DPS hamster here. He kind of wants to practice tracking on the slender frame of this Moira, and it's just not enough. This Moira heals quite a lot, quite quickly. A little extra pressure of his team. He's trying to find something, but it's just not enough. This fight is slowly going in favor of the San Fran side. More importantly, they seem to be pushing it without really much in terms of resistance. Benk is going for this Pharah, but he's going to go deep into enemy territory trying to do it, and he should be punished for that severely, and he will go down. Thrash Dude now the only person left alive on his team still at this point. He's getting away with his life. Ninja Kidders has this ability, has this barrage. He's trying to duel Cold Chill first. Ninja Kidders has the advantage of having the pocket mercy, so he's going to be a huge advantage. Finally, Cold Chill is just going to have to back off. Ninja Kidders is still looking for an opportunity to use this barrage. He's trying to get in behind them. He's getting damage boosted. He might be looking to do it right here, but first he's going to take out Cold Chill, and that's half of the side of Shanghai down, and now San Fran really doesn't even need to use ults, unless they just want to silence the enemy team's recontest. Gets a kill onto Mini Kobe. Pretty good use of these rocket projectiles here. They may not cap it here, but they're getting pretty close, and they still have ultimates to burn. Ninja Kidders can't really take more than one hit, though, and Cold Chill's going to take them down. Power Plug uses those landmines. Uses them in a bit of a weird place. I can't even see them anymore. Use them right there, but that's not on the payload. It's not going to do much of anything at this point. Are they C9ing? They do C9. Shanghai C9s, lol, and it gets taken by the side of San Fran. I forgot the team names. San Fran in much the same position that Shanghai were at the start of their round on attack. They don't have much time here, but they do still have enough. They're going to be looking to try and cap with at least comparable time. With the first pick onto the enemy Iwa, it's not going to be such a big order to fill. Ninja Kidders is still weak, though. He's just trying to evade that Pharah, and he does. He evades her for just long enough for his team to take her out for him. Tower comes out, takes out both supports. That should be enough to end this push on its own, but they're also going to kill Ben Soccer just for the sake of it. Iwa has this ultimate. First he wants to try and get this kill onto Dragonborn. Dragon will first get the health pack. A bit of an exposed position, does get taken out by Dank Dragon X. Or sorry, XXX. They see that far in the background, they know that she probably has ult, and they manage to take out her pocket. Ninja Kidders is still looking to get some damage done, but now without any sort of healing whatsoever. Eventually gonna run low on fuel. Does manage to at least trade, but this is not his position that San Fran want to be in at all. Shanghai still just doing such a good job in these final moments of shutting them down with these kills from Cold Chill. Mr. Assassin putting in work. Power Plug just generally existing to take so much fire from the enemy team. They want to push on to Ben here. They know he kind of pushed out ahead of his team, but they just don't manage to focus him enough. So many ultimates here for San Fran to use. They might be looking to use this bomb for entry. Also, probably looking to use that barrage until finally she dies. The bomb is still here, and they're kind of just looking for an opportunity. Ben manages to take out Iwa. Thrash Dude also taking out Cold Chill. These numbers are trading kind of evenly, but the spawn advantage is so heavy for Shanghai that it really needs to be so much more concise of a win for San Fran. They still have these ultimates, and now they have to try and play into these mines, or at least delete them before they can move forward. Their main tank being taken down is not what they want to see, and will the bomb find much of anyone? Well, it finds a couple turrets, but that's not going to be nearly what they were looking for. The Beck tries to win this duel, but it matters little. So many of his team is going down to rip tires, and Cold Chill just being Cold Chill, you animal. Really unfortunate, but it looks like this is going to be a 4-0 in favor of Shanghai. Shanghai trying a few different things there before finally settling on the Hamster Diva defense line. And it is going to be enough off of the back of the very strong offense of Iwa and Cold Chill. Cold Chill, cold as ice. Iwa, the bathroom animal. But you can't blame San Fran too much. They did, at the very end, every single round, they showed that they had the capability to at least contest the team of Shanghai. They did have the ability to at least put their best foot forward and try. However, it just wasn't enough in the end. Shanghai just managing to make better use of their heroes, better use of these weird sort of compositions. Maybe they practiced them a little bit more. In any case, this was the San Fran Shanghai game, 4-0 for Shanghai, and that's about going to be everything from me. Check in tomorrow. We should have more games going for you, and that is it for my casting today. Adios.